So you want to manage an MLS. This is the contract rules right here. Let's talk through that. All right, my friends, I've done this once before, but it does take some getting used to, okay? You have to think of it this way. It's a weird way of thinking star player contract equals designated player, but then there's limits on how many you can sign. The first thing, before you look at all this, don't look at it, ignore it, is MLS wants parity. They don't want Barcelona and Real Madrid to dominate the league. They want to give everybody a chance. And so there's like a forced parity into MLS. And how they do that is, first off, you can only sign a maximum, it says, 2 designated players. Now, that's of any age. So you can only have like 2 star players. Think like Wayne Rooney, right? However, a designated player 20 years. Okay, so and you can sign a third one that's a young designated player. Okay, you can have 3 star players. Only 2 of them can be old, and it details what old means. So before that, you have to understand there's a salary cap. You can only spend so much money. Forced parity. Think forced parity. You can spend 76 grand as a salary cap, but all of that, like how each player's contract hits that salary cap, can be adjusted with this general allocation money and targeted allocation money, and also depending on the type of contract you sign them to, which makes it nice and super confusing. Okay, so if you sign Wayne Rooney, or let's give an example from our team, right? Our John Lundstrom here. We are paying John Lundstrom 47,000 euros a week. It doesn't have his impact. Why doesn't it have his impact? 47. However, even though we're paying him 47,000 a week, their contribution towards the salary cap will be equal to the maximum senior salary of 9,250. So there's another type of contract called a maximum senior salary, or a senior contract, and the max you can have on a senior contract is 9,250. So even though we're paying him 47,000, and you're like, well, that's like more than half of your 76,000 wage budget, or salary cap, not the same thing as wage budget, salary cap, the impact of signing John Lundstrom is only 9,250 towards that 76,000 salary cap. With me thus far, hopefully. Okay, if you sign designated players that are super young, okay, 20 or younger, then we could pay. Let's say John Lundstrom was 20. Okay, we're paying him 47,000, but the salary cap wouldn't be 9,250; it'd be 2,600. So it's incentivizing. Go find some young players that are amazing. Pay them whatever you want based on your wage budget, but the salary cap impact will be significant. It'll be essentially a fourth, a little less, whatever, or a little bit more than a fourth, but 2,600, which means like obviously that would give you a lot more wage budget to sign other players to normal contracts, maxing out at 9,250 per week. Okay, whereas a young designated player 21 to 23 would be 3,500. Again, they're incentivizing. You can go get you 2 old being older than 23 years old designated players and pay them whatever you want. But if you want, you can sign some young ones instead, or one of the third ones can be a young designated player, and it doesn't impact you as much, and it leaves you more salary cap to go buy other players at regular senior salaries. Okay. You can lower the salary cap impact of 2,600 a week on like a young designated player using targeted allocation money, not general allocation money. All that means is MLS says, you have this money over here, and if you want, instead of it being 2,600 towards your salary cap, like let's say you're kind of desperate and you've already hit the max of your salary cap, but you've got a big pile of targeted allocation money sitting there, you can use that targeted allocation money to drop that 2,600 impact towards your salary cap. Again, you may still be paying the player 47,000 a week, but you could drop that 2,600 to zero using targeted allocation money. And they don't have to buy. You can buy a third DP roster slot if you want, but you don't have to if you are signing them to a young designated player contract. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. This is not how you want to start an episode, because it's like, let's talk about the most confusing league in the world. Yay! There are two main types of squad registration slots in MLS. I think the MLS would drive actual MLS fans insane, because it's not the Major League Soccer, it's MLS. It's Major League Soccer. Anyway, you can sign normal, non-designated players to senior contracts and off-budget contracts. Okay? Senior slots always count towards that salary cap. Again, okay? Off-budget does not. Okay? So players on designated player and senior contracts may only be registered using a senior slot. You can't sign a designated player to an off-budget. That doesn't make sense. None of this makes sense. Players on senior contracts can have their salary cap impact brought down using general allocation money. So again, let's say you're already at your $76,000 a week salary cap. Again, our budget is way above that, but your salary cap is there. And you need to sign a player like a goalkeeper. You could bring down that $10,000 impact to zero using a big pile of money called general allocation money. Okay. League minimum is $1,200 a week for senior minimum salary contracts, and they may be registered using either senior or off budget. So you could buy up some players at the league minimum and drop them on the off budget standpoint, and that wouldn't impact your salary cap. If they were on a senior contract, they would, but you could buy that senior contract out, salary cap impact down using general allocation money, I think. If you have academy players, they're homegrown, and they retain this status until they permanently move to a non-MLS club. Permanently. So you can loan them out. These players may be registered using either senior or off-budget slot. For senior homegrown players registered as off-budget, the combined difference between their salary cap impact and the minimum salary cap impact is exempt from the salary cap up to a maximum of $2,200. You get, if you're using homegrown players, you get a salary cap discount, or it doesn't even impact it, depending on how much you're paying them. There's a thing called Generation Adidas. You pay above the senior minimum salary, like let's say they're really good, and you want to pay them because they're really good, but you want to pay them more than the senior minimum, which is $1,200. They're always exempt from the salary cap and can only be registered in off-budget slots. So if you have some amazing prospect that comes in through the draft and you offer a Generation Adidas contract, it can be more than $1,200. It doesn't matter. They only go to an off-budget slot. It doesn't matter. They don't impact your salary cap. It's incentivizing getting players through the draft and using your homegrown talent there. Reserve contract players are also exempt from the salary cap, can only occupy off-budget slots. Reserve contracts can only be given to players under the age of 25 and come with a maximum length of 2 years. So your backup players, your reserve players that you want to stuff your roster with, don't impact your salary cap, but they have to be under the age of 25. So you can't go buy some 30-year-old Serbian center back to come over to take an off-budget reserve contract. Are we clear? Clear as mud, I'm sure. This is useful, though. So you can have 8 internationals maximum. Now, there is a way. I've not been very successful with it using this in Football Manager, but you can buy international slots for the season from other teams and trade them and all kinds of stuff. You can have 3 total designated players. 2 of them can be old. 1 of them can be under 23, I think, or maybe the young ones are 20 and under. We'll figure that out. You can have no more than 10 off-budget players. So you can't sign like 40 reserve players to help out with your match rotation because there's so many games. You can have 10 of those off-budget. You can have 4 non-reserve, non-homegrown off-budget players. Okay? So if you're trying to stuff your off-budget slots with good players, you can only have 4 that aren't reserves and aren't homegrown. You could stuff it full of homegrown talent if you've got a really good talent, like academy talent. You can have a maximum of 6 reserve players. You can have 4 non-homegrown reserve players. Yay. So let's take a look at you can't even can we is there an MLS? No, of course there's not. Wait, maybe it's this. So here's how we sit. We are currently, I thought it was 76,000. It says maximum squad salary of 74,000. Maybe I was reading that wrong. We are at 60 grand on the salary cap. Okay? Salary cap is different from wage budget. Our wage budget is currently 148,000. That's what we're spending or committed to spending. That is obviously more than 74,000, right? So salary cap. So we can, however we juggle it with our general allocation money, because we have no targeted allocation money right now. However we juggle it, we can only bring in 14,000 in salary cap impact. Okay, however that works out. We can have a maximum of 10 internationals instead of 8. So we must have bought some slots from somebody. We have 2 designated player slots, one of those being an old one. We can bring in 3 more off-budget players, 1 more non-reserve, non-homegrown off-budget player, a total of 2 more reserve players, 1 more non-homegrown reserve player, and we must have at least 15 players on the squad. There's no max on the squad. So we know that we have a foreign transfer coming in July. That'll take up one of our 2 remaining international slots. So I can go get, how I'm reading this, I can go get 1 international designated player. Young, old, doesn't matter. Would love to get a goalkeeper. Okay? Or anybody else. Like, it almost doesn't matter if they're willing to come, right? But we need to either get a designated player goalkeeper, like an old one, or a young one, or sign somebody to a senior team contract. Senior, it doesn't have this listed. Oh, there's a maximum squad. It's here, 30. Why are those separated? Oh my goodness. So I'm trying to think. Okay. Nope. Senior contract. Okay. This is a good example. He's international, but it's a senior contract. So I could go find somebody that is a goalkeeper and pay them whatever I wanted. Okay. I think it's up to 9,250 to play goalkeeper. That could be an international and not use a designated player spot, but then I'm out of international slots. It could be a designated player, young or old, and international if we wanted. That's how I'm reading it. But we need a goalkeeper. And aside from that, then you can start looking at, we got lots of players. George Acosta, is that on loan? That's interesting. Then we can start looking at where the other gaps in the squad are. But the biggest gap right now, clearly, is goalkeeper, right? The one we have is not very good. Where did he come from? Has he been here? See, he went to the Cologne reserves. It didn't play very well. And now they paid 72 grand for him. And now he's the backup. But for some reason, he's starting. It's a mystery. Okay? We don't have, looking at this, we don't have another right back. He's on the disabled list. He's out forever. So we don't have another left back. Okay? We got decent... Ooh, are we going to play 5 at the back? We got decent coverage. I'm not saying they're good. We got reserves here. Center backs. And then these guys are center backs or DMs. And these guys are all my midfielders. So we need fullbacks or wingbacks. Somebody can play on the left and right side of the formation of any variety. We have no depth. This is the joy of MLS. Now that I've done that, this is literally moments after the last episode. I wanted to show you this screen because it's always like, okay, walk me through that again. So hopefully that made sense after 14 minutes. Oh my goodness. Let me go see what I could do to spruce up the squad. For those of you that have never played Football Manager in MLS, this is your make an offer screen. Looks different, doesn't it? So we couldn't use our transfer budget. We have to use our general allocation budget to trade, or not buy, trade with Colorado. And I initially offered 2.5 million in general allocation money because we have 12.08 left. And they wanted 2.5 with 45 grand in targeted allocation money and our second round draft pick. We have 0. If you come up to our finances here, we have 0 targeted allocation money available. So I'm not sure what that's about. But we do have 12 million in general allocation money. So we're going to complete this trade and give our second round draft pick because draft picks, in my experience, mostly useless. Why it said we were good? Why is it? Oh, because I clicked off. They're good, and we're gonna accept. Here's why: we need a goalkeeper yesterday. So this guy, 31 years old, Dutch. He's literally a 4.5-star player, significantly better than the one we have. He's played at the likes of AZ, Genk, Ajax as a youth prospect. They're getting one over on us for 1.7 million. He is going to take up international slot. He's probably going to be a designated player, but I'm not sure. If he'll take 10 grand from them, maybe he'll take 10 grand from us and just do a senior contract. And then we can use our designated player slots for young players. But we needed somebody like it. When I clicked on scouting and it had like 4 recommendations, that was the first one. So like, that was the first one. I'd already changed it to goalkeeper. I'm going to take that off and say, find me somebody that can play a back. How about both? No, just got to do one or the other. I'd like them to be relatively young. Off you go. Can I do another one? I usually don't set short-term focuses. I'm sure you can tell. Okay. Give me some decent prospects here for left and right back. Off you go. Let's see what happens. Let's look at the comparison of our team. Starting he's got great command. The one goalkeeper we have doesn't matter. Okay, defense. Good at positioning. Strong. Not great at pace. About average with acceleration. Good at marking. Good at jumping. Decent at heading. Great at tackling. Okay, so for me, I go, all right, so we don't want to play a high line if our pace is that bad, because that means people can run past us and then we can't do anything about it, right? So we are 23rd. 23rd, my friends, in the entire league. That's not great. Now, acceleration, we can get going, but once we get going, we're not very fast. So I think a standard line makes the most sense there. Trust our positioning and our marking. So we'll do tight marking. We're second in the league. Tight marking. We can jump. We can't head, though. It's funny. We can jump, but we don't know what to do when we get in the air, and we can tackle. So maybe with good tackling, from a defensive standpoint, we can get away with 4 at the back. When I looked at our roster, going back to this, at our best players, they are midfielders, center backs, a right back, a striker, a left back, or a left winger, right winger, striker, and our midfielders can play DM, and our center backs can play DM. So like we have and this guy who's in probably the best, whatever that is, top 10, 11 players, can play all over, but like his best position is a DM. So I'm thinking we play like a 4-3-3 with some wingers and a DM, something like that, because we have to think about rotating in MLS, right? You don't just have a game every week. You have like potentially 2 or 3 games in a week. So you have to be able to rotate your squad around to fill those gaps. So if we can get away with 4 at the back, only use 2 of our center backs, which leaves one of them that could play DM as available to take a DM spot for us. And we've got the positioning and the marking to handle it. Okay, let's look at our midfield. About average, but could be above average. Good passing, good at long shots, decent vision so we can get creative with our passing, good teamwork. Not very good at decisions, though, so maybe we can't. That kind of goes against with the vision, but whatever. Decent technically. Average to slightly above average, depending on the situation, but good at passing. So again, using that as a strength, getting more people in midfield. This is how I think about building a squad, right? Like, we can't go just fire everyone and bring in transfers. That's not how MLS works, right? So how can we use what we've got? So, all right, we don't use 3 center backs, we use 2, so that one of those that has the capability to play DM can cover that spot if we need to rotate. Now, we've got good passing, like we've got average to above average on our midfield. So let's put some strength, especially in the passing, in the midfield, using that DM spot with the 2 midfielders ahead. Let's look at the attack. Not very pacey. Not very pacey is being generous. 19th in the league in terms of pace. Average, like bang average, 12th in the league in terms of acceleration. Not that great. Okay, not great at long shots. We're gonna have to work the ball into the box, because taking shots from outside the box is not going to work. So I'm thinking, either 4-1-4-1 or 4-1-2-3 wide with the DM. We don't rely on our strikers. Now you could say in the attack from a midfield standpoint, right? Maybe those wingers fall into the attacking midfield. But again, they're not very pacey. So we're going to have a slow build up, I feel like, to be able to get our passes off, like maybe slower from a pacing standpoint to avoid some injuries. Like slowly working our way up the field, passing it around and finding the opening with our passing skills to get it to somebody who's not very fast, who is okay off the ball movement, but not very good long shots, work the ball in the box. That's immediately where I go. So taking the physicals away from the goalkeeper. We're the best in the league at jumping. That's hilarious. But look at this. It's just not very good. Mentals, pretty good. Aggression, so good. And that goes with our tackling, right? And pretty good positioning overall, which is kind of interesting. And then technically, we're really good at marking. So we're going to tightly mark. We may even tackle a bit aggressively if we're pretty good at it. But then once we have the ball, we're not going to be the team that punts it up long to a fast striker, at least not right now, right? We need to get creative with our passing and our vision here and find an opening. That's what I'm thinking. So I'm thinking 4-3-3 with a DM, or 4-1-2-3 DM wide, which is much more difficult to say, to allow for that rotation, to utilize the strength in our midfield, and finding some backup fullbacks would be clutch, and then working our way down the pitch. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Looking at the competitions, I mean, it's all the same, but let's look at the stages here. Okay, we're down here. So we have allowed 15 goals, which, considering, right, DC United's allowed 13, as has Cincinnati, but they've scored goals. Okay, we have not scored many goals, but we want to shore this up while trying to enhance our attacking capabilities at least a little bit. Again, that is the worst in both conferences. So we need to shore up the defense. Maybe adding that DM helps. And then figure out a way to score some more goals is what I'm thinking. So I'm going to hop us forward and see what happens with that goalkeeper and see if we can go find some designated players. So apparently they were playing a 4-2-3-1 DM AM wide and have been vulnerable against playing against a 4-2-3-1. There's lots of negatives. Yeah, it could do more depth at left back, center back, left wing back. Brady Scott is a decent option to be improved upon. Yep, we knew that. Not the best at crossing, dribble. It's just a type of squad. The goalkeepers, the one, generally command their area well, but they're not very good because we just discussed over here. They're not very good. High level of positioning, impressive jumpers, aggressive. Now they've created 6 chances playing the 4-2-3-1 DMAMY, but they've conceded 5. So maybe it's just a finishing problem. Lots of wage budget room, whatever. We've not signed anybody yet. We have a game tomorrow. I just want to show that report to you. We've also gone after... I don't think they're going to sell Bill Hamid. I'm essentially trying to put pressure for somebody to pull the trigger. I'd like not to sign this guy if I could avoid it, because he's an international, right? So I did a sort and looked for Americans. So Bill Hamid would be a good option. And again, wouldn't cost us. He wasn't transfer listed though. Alex Bono is transfer listed and he's only for $475. So I'm hoping they actually accept. I don't know what happens if I offer all these and they all accept. Do I have the option to say no? We'll find out. We're giving up our first and third round and an international slot for a year to Sporting KC for who? A midfielder. No. I've gone ahead and set up our 4-3-3 here. I gave us a 5-3-2, so we have something else to work on, and the 4-2-3-1. I just want to see what happens here. Does the familiarity go up? Not really. So, just trying to have us working on stuff we're familiar with nothing, which is incredible. All right, let's hop forward. I'm going to show you the first game, I guess. Oh, and it also said we had Milton could be taken off the disabled list. Well, why did I think I agreed to that? I'm going to put him on the season-ending injury list because I think that helps out our... I mean, it says he's going to be out until October 25th. That's like the end of the freaking season, isn't it? Yeah. So can I come up here? How can I do that? Is it because I already clicked next? He's not included, but I don't know what this is doing. It said Robinson too. So we do have another option, but I mean, he's not very good either, you know? So I'm just trying to get players back, but how can I put this guy on the disabled list? No idea. Ooh, this is interesting. So they all, okay. LA Galaxy told us to take a hike. That's fine. That's fine. But Alex Bono for 475. I mean, again, I'm not saying he's outstanding, but in comparison, he's got a 14 shot stopping versus 11. He's more physical. It doesn't have his speed rated, but like when you look at the attributes, right? He's a 7 to 9 versus a 12. So that's a problem. But everything else, he's more physical. How do I go back to that screen? No. Comparison. Overview. He's not as eccentric. He's not as aerial just by fuzz, but his distribution, his shot stopping, physical is better. Communication mentals are better. Speed is going to be less. I think that's an upgrade. And we need, I mean, yeah, what that does though, right? Because they're willing to trade us this guy for 2.9 million. And again, he would be outstanding in comparison, right? But in comparison, okay, let's compare him to Alex Bono. They're about the same. His distribution's a lot better, which would be great. His communication's better. His mentals are better. All that would be great. But it gives us more money to go buy somebody from an allocation money standpoint. So I think, and it saves us an international slot. So we're going to accept this one because I want to go find a right back or a left back with an international slot and offer some crazy money from a designated player standpoint. So that's what we're doing. And we're gonna delay this. Because we have to figure out if this guy wants to accept a contract, I think, or does he just come? I don't remember how this works. Oh, that's even better. He's now on contract. They've traded his contract to us. He is at 5.5K a week. His salary cap impact is 1,900 for some reason. It says he's not really that much of an upgrade. Oh, but I think honestly in comparison though. Oh no, it says he's about the same. I disagree. I think he's a definite upgrade. I think he's a good enough upgrade to justify having saved 2 million in general allocation money and an international slot, I guess is what I feel. But we do have to do a squad registration. So he is now, is he in? He's in. He's back. I can't register him. I don't understand. Oh dear. I was Inter Miami's #1 choice. Take that, odds makers. Montreal wants one of our international player slots. No. They're going to give us 130 grand in general allocation money and a second round pick that we don't want. No. It's time for our first game. Just want to show you our staff problems. We have no goalkeeping, fitness, head of youth development, no assistant manager, 3 of our 6 scouts, no data analysts, no physios. We have a head physio, no sports scientists. Goodness. Just want to point out, this is our bench. We've put Alex Bono in goal. So Brady Scott drops down. We've got the guy who's gotten 6 starts and 2 subs at center back or DM. I got a guy who's theoretically better than him, who has no match sharpness. He hasn't really played, so he's going to get a start. We're going to work on his match sharpness today. We got 2 reserve center backs to go with him. So we have 3 center backs and a DM. I guess technically we'll do it that way so he can cover the DM spot. Lee Win, who kind of can go wherever but can't get there quickly. We got a right winger. And a right winger. We have no coverage on the fullbacks. We have no coverage on left wing. We have no coverage on striker except for Lee Win could, I guess, maybe just stand there. I guess. And I can't, he's not registered. He's not on the disabled list, but I can't register Robbie Robinson. And I have no idea why. It's just not letting me. Like, it still says that he's out. Maybe it'll come back when he's not injured. Maybe. This guy's been dropped to the waiver list. He's a center back. We don't care. Waiver list is like, in case you don't know, there's a list. And if you're at the top of the list and you want the player and you go first, you can grab him. It doesn't matter what everybody else does. But if you pass, the next team goes. And if you use your waiver spot, you drop down to the bottom of the waiver list so the next team moves up. Yeah. And now I'm getting updates about recovering from a hip injury, but I can't register him. Maybe he has to be fully back from injury. Maybe. We start off at home against 9th place Chicago. Then we take on 10th place New York City FC. 3rd place Sporting Kansas City. Minnesota in 6th. FC Dallas in 2nd. I mean, again, it's kind of a tight table, right? So 9th is 10 points and we're on 4. I'm not saying it's great. Oh, and there's games in hand. Oh, goodness me. Not judging. Okay, because it was already in the past. That's weird, though, that was a requirement. They don't want to sign players over 30. I guess I should show you. Kakula. I don't think he's going to be worth a international slot. So I have, with our minimal scouting staff, so what I did is I went to the Premier League, because I figured this would be something that if you had a staff in place, they would do. You'd be like, hey, you got anybody you want to get rid of? You're trying to loan anybody? You want to open up opportunities in the American market? What's up? Send them over here. And same thing in the Bundesliga. And I looked at the U.S. men's national team senior squad, under 23 squad, and under 20 squad, because that's public information, right? Like they put that on the U.S. soccer website. So we are scouting this guy. Again, I don't know if he's necessarily worth DP money, but his contract's coming up and we could just get him on a free, but that doesn't really solve our problem right now. And this, again, if this guy would be back, but he's supposed to be out 3 to 7 weeks, so maybe he's back. I don't know. I thought he was out until October. So maybe we have decent coverage on the left and we need to find somebody more on the right. But we got like Sam Byram. You know, he might be worth DP money if we could pay him 30 grand to come over here if he wants to. He's transfer listed for $975K. We can afford that. So here's the whole list. You can kind of take a look at it if you want, but it's going to take us a while to kind of go through all that. So yeah, I was just trying to find anybody. You know what I think I'll do? If he's actually back, then I think we just cancel the assignment and move on. We already know about him. I'll add him to the short list in case we need to track, like he gets a contract offer or something like that. I'm not saying he's not good. It's just right back is more important. You know, I thought Eric Palmer Brown, because he can play right back as a no-nonsense fullback, maybe is this. He's listed for 250 grand and he's American, so he wouldn't take up an international slot if I can get that out. So we'll see what happens. There, 13-8 odds. Welcome to parity. Even though the fact that we've only won one game, we've drawn one game and lost 6, and Chicago is 3-1-4. It's fairly even odds. We're in woeful form. Dynamics. Oh, I guess I should introduce myself to the team. Let's make the playoffs. That's kind of like minimum expectations here. Yes. All right. Pump them up right before the game. Very poor managerial support. Average dressing room atmosphere. We got to keep that up. We promised the club we would. This is what I got. Work the ball into the box. Extremely urgent. You know what? Maybe we don't do extremely urgent. Maybe just more urgent. But we are getting stuck in using our tackling skills. Okay? We're tightly marking because we're good at that. And I've got like take more risks with passing, will trap, and Lundstrom. Dribble less Vols because he's not very good at dribbling. I got a ball playing defender on Nicholas here because, well, he's pretty good at it. Bono, we were playing just a goalkeeper because our other guy wasn't very good. He's actually pretty good as a sweeper in comparison. So we'll do that. Get a little bit more passing out of the back. I've got work the ball in the box. We're going balance. See how it goes. Raphaelson, these guys are wrong-footed. So he can play over here as a winger. Corey Baird can, but he's better as an inside forward on the left side because this guy can play inside forward, or he's really a striker. So I figured forward is better than winger. His crossing is a 9 versus dribbling in and using that left peg on attack. And then kind of a supporting midfield here. No subs. No subs. But we do have a game in 3 days. And then we get a break. Yay! So, and you got a bad partnership here. That's great. Oh, I hope you're going to enjoy this. Yeah, boy number 15, Alex. You just rolled in. Here you go. Here you go. They're playing a 3-4-3 with a double DM and wingbacks. Oh, that hurts my head. You got a lot of players hanging out near their 18. I think that's going to make working the ball in the box kind of difficult. I didn't put shorter passing on for that kind of a reason. Like if we catch an opening, I don't want to force the shorter passing. Show me what you can do. I just got here. Trying to pump them up. Trying to pump them up. Here we go. Can't wait to get started this wonderful job. It doesn't matter. We continue to work on our craft in search of improvements. Thank you for pointing out we are terrible on defense. I could have told you that already. I'm just going to do key highlights today because we kind of had a bunch of stuff before. Possession's gone our... Well, it had gone our way early. Oh, no. Oh, Bono deflects it up off the bar. You know what? I don't think I did anything from set piece takers. Oh, dear. Corners. You know what? You guys just work it out. Lewin is by far free kick taker. Pekka Wickman in the Discord has been using his goalkeeper for all of his penalties. And I think some of the set pieces, I'm tempted, but we do... Yeah, let's just see what they do on their own. I didn't do anything. I didn't modify set piece. I figure it's like they don't know anything about the 4-1-2-3 DM wide. So let's keep it easy, lads, you know? We got 7 fouls. Okay, who do we have? Will Trap. Will Trap. Can he get it over the wall? He does! Oh, looked like it was going out, but the goalkeeper deflects it out. Looks like Will's walking over to take the corner as well. Pings it. Okay. Get to that. Get to that. Oh, and then you immediately peel off and run away. Who are you? Oh, dear. Okay. It's fine. We're figuring the squad out. Corey Barrett on left wing is exhausted, and we don't have another one. So we may go to like a 2-striker something. What? That was a good tackle. Oh, are we going to have somebody sent off in the first game because I put be hard on your tackles on? Like I never, ever do? Okay, it's fine. Goodness gracious, boys. We've had more on target shots. That was straight to Corey Baird. Like as if he was wearing red. Corey pings it back. Full back. He's playing advantage, the referee is. Oh my goodness. Joelson. Let me know in the comments how you say his name. He's going to play a lot this season. He's a DM. He's a good midfielder. Joelson. Baird back to Vols. Almost gets the ball taken away from him, and then he just pings it in. Kind of wonder what the keeper was doing there. With the ball there, he might slide over a little bit. He had coverage because of his player being in the way to his left, but we've scored our 8th goal of the season. That's a 1/7 improvement. Oh, our front line is not getting any service, apparently. I'm pleased with how they're going. Keep it up. Don't get a yellow. You in particular don't get a yellow because we literally don't have another right back. I think we may take Corey Baird off because we have a game in 3 days. But the problem becomes... Okay, I guess we do this. And we'll bring on, because this guy... wait. Which one was it? I mean, they're about the same. He's not played well all season. This guy is not match sharp and has a high risk of injury. So this guy, what can you do? I guess that makes sense. That's the thing. We have to rotate. We may concede, but like you have to, in MLS with so many games, you have to rotate. So that's why I brought this guy in. We would like to get him off at some point, bring on Lee Win or something. Squad building is interesting, especially when you haven't had an off season. I've got faith in you, mate. So we're leaving both of the yellows on. That's good. Okay, back to the center back. We'll play keep away. That's fine. They don't need the ball. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, I thought he was going to ping it from there while Bono was running backwards. He does get a mitt to it. That was good closing down by Nicholas Figal. Figal. Because he helped out Bono with the angles, I think, there. Maybe I take the tackling off. Maybe we just see if we can get it done with just regular old tackling, like using the skills we have versus being so aggressive. But I think with that, I would like to see with our aggressiveness if we can do it, but we don't want to give up so many set pieces, especially with a 2.5-star goalkeeper. I think that's harsh, but I think, you know, that's fine. It's fine. It's fine. They've had a clear-cut chance. We've had none, but we've got the goal right now, my friends. Demand more. They like it. Cool. Cool. Yes. Good. I like the... Oh, look at all the yellows. I guess I should tell him as well. See, this is the thing. We're going to lose people to yellow card accumulation, and we don't have substitutes. That's the problem. He's exhausted, so we're going to bring on this guy as an inside forward because, well, we don't really have an option. Play him out of position up top, and then Lee Win come in. It's like it doesn't matter. I think I'm just going to put him on a poacher. He's just not capable of anything else. And that's all our subs, people. Thinking about the next game. 3 sets of fresh legs up top. One of them playing in a position he's never played in. Lots of yellows on the pitch. Can we hold on for a win? would be the second win of the season. Why would I say that? Why would I dare to dream? Watch this pass from a guy who's never played inside forward, playing it as a left winger. That was a worm burner and a half. That was like a worm burner with a laser beam on the back. What a pass that was. Is he going to get another? That was unbelievable. Can you believe, like, are you as stunned as I am? All right, mate. All right, Kevin. All right. Don't tackle him out of vengeance. That's fine. Ping it forward. Cool. Cool. Frankowski. He's got the whole Inter Miami team behind him. Or in front of him. Not behind him. Okay, they're building. Playing it back. That's fine. Now we're in shape. I like it. Lee Wen is just hanging out on the circle. He's like, oh, dearie. Oh, Bono, instead of using his hands to pick it up, just decides to hoof it clear, but we do not mind. One more, demand more. He's grabbed the ball. He's running back, full of confidence. Come on, boys. Take Galvin's worm-burning laser beam to heart. Let's win this back without giving up a penalty. I mean, a yellow card. Wins it back to Galvin. Trap finds nobody. This doesn't look good. Oh, dearie me. What a save from Bono. I'm gonna, yep. Sure am gonna say that. Away! Oh, blocked. There you go, Lundstrom. Good job not... Oh, don't love that, though. 3 clear-cut chances, 2 half chances to our 1. And yet we somehow have a temporary lead. Not Matt Sharp to not Matt Sharp. And then he pings it. And it's over. It's over the bar. We're wasting a little bit. They've gone 3-4-3, folks. Just hold on to it. Just play it to the way. Oh, okay. Will Trapp makes himself available. Nice passing. That's what we're talking about. Using that 12 passing to find a teammate. Wasting the time, passing it around, making him run. Trapp finds Galvan. Does he have another worm-burning laser beam? He overruns the ball. He zips it across. 2 assists from Ryan Galvin. Are you serious? I am also going to tell the team to focus down the wing since we should have some sort of an overload there. Hopefully we don't need it. Galvin announces himself to MLS. Look at that. And he gets it to the other sub, Castaneda. Ryan Galvin. My goodness. Are you serious? Now everyone else is exhausted, but at least we've kept our attacking fresh. But keeping the attacking fresh has won us the game. Richard Castaneda with a brace. Thanks to Ryan Galvin. I can't think of anything. What are you talking about? I'm very pleased, lads. Now, you picked up some yellows. It's the player of the match goes to this guy. He played an 8.8. I can see why. Although I think Castaneda on an 8.7 as a sub with the 2 winning goals, I think could argue, hey, had the 2 winning goals. It's unbelievable. All right, my friends. Second win of the season. That has jumped us to nowhere. We are now on 7 points, though. That's better than it was. The gap to the playoffs is 4. The Impact have 9 points, but 3 games in hand. NYCFC has got 3 games in hand, so that number is probably going to continue to climb. So, but we've got a first good start here. We got a goal. I'm going to go play a couple of games. I'll bring you back when it's interesting, or garage door. Enjoy that. And we'll probably play one more set of games before the US Open Cup, and hopefully we can get some sort of interesting player in or some staff members. That would be good. Yeah. All right. Hit that like button, my friends. Let me know what you think about doing this in MLS. Again, I hope you understand the idea here is helping boost that reputation so we can move on to greater things, even though there's not relegation. So I was just struggling to find a club, to be honest with you. Let's see what we got. See you next time. Have a good one.